Hello and welcome to Post, the channel where we discuss all things hockey and all teams. A lot of you have been waiting for this because there are a lot of Maple Leafs fans who watch this channel, and just in general, they hold a very high percentage of fans on the internet. Some are nice, some are not, so I'm sure I'll experience all kinds of range of comments for this video. But what I've done is just gone through, in my mind, how the Maple Leaf season went, and I wrote down a few notes. I want to compare some statistics from this year to the previous season and kind of go through everything. It's going to be a little sloppy because I just have these in random order written down. But bear with me and we can have a little discussion. Now, Toronto's a team that we haven't really liked ever because we are Canadiens fans at heart. But since we've made this channel, we've gotten a chance to enjoy some Toronto recently.
Oh, yeah.
And have a little bit more respect for them.
More respect for them, a lot less dislike.
And we got to see them play at the beginning of last year and had a great time.
It was wonderful.
So, ironically, we got to see them play the Islanders and Tavares. And now Tavares is part of the Maple Leafs moving forward. So, you're welcome. We are the good luck charm, apparently. Okay, so if we compare seasons 2016-17 to 2017-18, just look at some of the main stats in comparison, just to see if they improved. And they did. I'll just let big hint. So points in 16-17, 95, 17-18, 105. So 10-point jump. That's gone from just on that playoff, right on that playoff brim. You might get in, you might not, to pretty much guaranteed. Like 105, you're near the top of your division there. So huge improvement. Goals for 250 before 270 this past year. Improvement.
That's an improvement. Goals
against 234 before 230. A little bit of improvement. Not much, but still an improvement on paper. Power play percentage 23.8 before 25 this year.
That's
one of
really
the best.
good.
One of the best in the league, actually.
Yeah, even 23.8 is nothing to sneeze at. So
yeah, so
to improve on that is really strong.
By over 1% too. So
yeah,
no surprise there with the talent they have, and we'll get into that a little later. Penalty kill percentage 82.5 before 81.4. So their first decrease of the stats so far that I've read off, but I mean it's minuscule. It's basically 1% or a little more than 1%. Faceoffs 49.9 previously, and this time 51.8. So they're above 50% in the faceoffs.
It doesn't sound like a lot, but as we talked about before, faceoff stats are very tight.
Yep.
And 2% change, almost a 2 percentage point change in faceoffs, is substantial over the course of the entire year.
It actually does make a pretty big difference.
Yeah.
And we'll get into why I think that happened.
All right.
In a little bit later. So, just again, like I said, this is going to be a little sloppy. My notes are kind of all over the place. But first, I have Babcock is a proven winning coach.
Okay.
He's able to get the most of young players. Some coaches don't handle young players very well. I think John Tortorella is a coach that doesn't really gel with young players. There are definitely others as well. Gerard Gallant is a guy who does get along with young players. So coaching styles are different, and I think Babcock, having that skill set of being able to work with young players and having one of the youngest teams in the league, works to his advantage and the team's advantage. So that's great. Yep. They have a young core. Like if you look at Anaheim, you've got Getzlav and Perry and Fowler and all these vets, I guess. And then you look at Toronto and you've got Matthews and Marner and Nylander, Zaitsev, and all these young guys who that's kind of their core. So they're really young at heart, and to watch them grow over the next 5 or 6 years is going to be exciting. And I am frustrated that I have to say that as a Canadiens fan, because we all know how the Canadiens are doing recently, but that is the truth, and we speak the truth here. So which centerman do you think had the best face-off percentage? I won't let you answer because it's Plekanec.
You're kidding.
58%, just while he spent time in Toronto. So this is from the trade deadline to the end of the season, so 3 months or whatever it was.
Now, that's maybe true, but that's only counting the actual face-offs that he remained in the dot for and didn't get thrown out.
Sure.
Right? So, Plekanec, as you know, is prone to getting thrown out a lot. And
that's, yes.
If you actually counted those stats,
Yeah.
I wonder how skewed that would be. Because the few times he is able to make a face-off, I guess they let him stay, and he did well.
And that's the thing. That's the thing. He's a specialty guy. Throw him out in the penalty kill, he'll be amazing.
Yeah.
Put him in the face-off for an important draw. If he doesn't get kicked out, chances are he's going to win it.
Yeah, good for him.
And Austin Matthews was next at 54.5%.
Wow.
For a guy that's his second year in the league, facing big talent up the middle and teams night after night, and to pull off a 54.5 in the face-off circle,
that is really something.
Impressive.
Because face-offs are one of those NHL skills, or hockey skills generally, but in the NHL, it usually takes years of intense practice and coaching and development and maturity to become a face-off specialist like that. So
impressive.
Good for him. Very impressive. Very impressive.
Marleau looked great his first year. At first he looked good, and then he cooled off. He had that maybe 5 or 6 week stretch where he didn't get a point. He looked slow. He didn't fit in on any line. They were shuffling him all around. And then he looked great again. I don't know what happened, but he looked great again. So I think it's going to be a good fit moving forward as long as he's with the team. I made a video during his cold streak, kind of burning him a little bit, and people were a little upset. But you have to remember, Marleau is one of my favorite players. Like, literally, he's in my top 3 favorite players in the league, so don't worry. Okay, Anderson basically single-handedly won at least 10 of the games this season.
Yeah.
There's no surprise. Toronto's pretty weak on the back end of defense. But Anderson, when they make a mistake, 9 times out of 10, maybe 9.8 times out of 10, he's there to make an incredible stop. So a lot of Toronto's success, seasonal success, can be attributed to him for sure. Polak was a giveaway machine and a liability physically. And what I mean by that is he's too physical at times. He gets himself in the penalty box, and then you're killing a penalty. Your team's killing a penalty. That's not cool. So he has a temper that he needs to control, and it's like opposite magnets. He can't control the puck. The puck doesn't want to be near him. It just goes places. So I don't know what to say, but I'm not a fan of Polak. We got to see a little bit more of Kasperi Kapanen. He got to play, I don't remember what the game total was, but it was exciting. I really, really enjoyed watching him play. He's probably one of my favorite players on Toronto, probably second favorite. So I love that kid. We also got to see Travis Dermott for a little bit.
Yes.
He was awesome.
Especially at the very beginning, when he made his debut. He was extremely impressive.
He has a lot of potential.
Oh, yeah.
Like, a lot of potential. They were throwing him out as, like, there's a rookie, and then there's Travis Dermott, where he has little experience.
Yeah.
And they were throwing him out in situations where vets should be.
Yeah, last 2 minutes of a game, that kind of thing.
And he was thriving.
Yeah,
he was doing awesome. Ron Hainsey, I felt, settled down the D at times. He just won the Stanley Cup with Pittsburgh the year before. He had the best plus-minus on the back end other than Dermott. I think Dermott actually had a plus 14 or plus 15 by the end of the season. It was pretty good.
Really?
But I really felt like you didn't hear a lot of, oh my God, Hainsey gave the puck away again.
No, that's right.
You heard that about Gardner and Polak. I really felt like Hainsey settled down the defense.
Excuse me.
When he was on the ice. So McElhinney's their backup. He comes in for 18 games and gets a winning record of 11-5-1, posts a 2.15 GAA and a .934 save percentage.
What?
You can't ask for better numbers from that than a backup.
For your backup.
It's actually better than your starter, Anderson.
Yeah.
Do you know how old he is?
I have no idea. 30-something.
I thought he was like mid to late 20s. He's 35.
Yeah, I thought he was in his early 30s, I would have said.
Wait,
35.
Generally around 32 to 33, goaltenders start to decline. There's a few exceptions. Patrick Waugh was great in his 30s. Martin Brodeur was great in his 30s. Hasek was great in his 30s.
And Luongo's doing well.
Luongo. Miller is doing pretty good. There's another one I was just thinking of. Doesn't matter. Anyway, that's great. And you can't ask for better numbers than that from your backup. So Austin Matthews led the team in points, and a lot of it can be attributed to his shooting percentage. Want to take a guess what his shooting percentage would be?
I have no idea.
18%. 18% doesn't seem that high, but like if you compare it to all the other players, like 18% is really high for a guy who scores. Snipers obviously have more shooting percentage than regular players, but most regular players are around between 5 and 8.
Really?
And he's at 18. There's some snipers up there around between 14 and 20.
Yeah.
Tarasenko's in there. I think Pacioretty was in there. Some others. But yeah, there's no denying it. Austin Matthews is an amazing player.
He's done.
He led the team this year in a lot of categories. And he'll probably do that in years to come, although he has a new competition this year coming up, and that's John Tavares. So we'll see how that molds together. They both play center, so
we will see.
We won't see them play together a lot.
I saw an interesting photograph on Twitter today. It relates to the Leafs, not so much to your metrics here, but it was an interesting photograph. It showed a piece of ladies' undergarment that they would wear in the upper part of their body, and it was all the structure of the brassiere, but without the most of the material. And it said, "This is the Toronto Maple Leafs. Lots of support, no cups." But I think that's going to change. And some of the comments underneath that tweet were, just wait. And I think they're right. I think of all the teams that have a bright future ahead of them, especially for the next year or two, things will get messy in the contract times because it's going to be hard to pay for all those people when they come up for negotiation and renewal. But if they can find a way to do that, if the cap goes high enough that they can afford it, certainly there's a lot of money in the bank. That's not the problem. It's the how they spend it is the issue. But if they can hang on to the core of this talent and ride that in the next 5, 6, 7 years, it won't be no cups anymore. It'll be at least 1 or 2.
It'll be
great for Toronto.
Yeah, it will. And we can't forget, Toronto has a very successful farm team. The Marlies just won the Calder Cup and that team is loaded with talent. There's one guy, I can't remember his name. It's I think it starts with T. Doesn't matter. Anyways, he led that team in the playoffs to the cup. He got a ton of points. We could see players like that move up this year, which is mind-boggling to think that more young players will join the team, but it's a possibility, and they're going to make a positive impact. So things are good in Toronto right now.
It's a great time to be a Leafs fan.
You should be happy.
Good for you. You've waited a long time. You've suffered and endured a lot. I know people that are my age that have been Leafs fans, and they don't remember their team winning a cup. You know, it's been 51 years. And to have them this close, really close. Some people talk about 93, what could have been.
Right, they played LA in the conference
finals. Had they beaten LA in that series, I think they would have beaten Montreal, frankly. I think there would have been, Montreal would have got the yips, and I think it would have been a different story. But this is the real deal. I think that Montreal team in 93 and the Toronto team was a bit of a fluke both times. This is no fluke. This is the real stuff here.
It is, so. And much like maybe Boston in 2011, as much as I don't like Boston, or not a fan. I do think they deserved that win in 2011. They had an incredible defensive team. It was just an amazing, it was a bit boring hockey because they were so defensive, but they deserved that win, and I'm glad that some of my friends who are Boston fans got to experience that in their lifetime. So I'm sure we'll be saying the same thing about Toronto in the upcoming years. So thanks for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. Let me know below how you think Toronto did, or what kind of changes they could make, how they did this past season, and what changes they could make moving forward to this next season. And we'll be discussing some predictions coming up in the next coming months for the new season. So if you are not subscribed, I hope you can subscribe to see that and more NHL hockey content. That would be awesome. If you like this video, please hit the like button. And we'll see you in the next report card, which will be Anaheim. We'll see you then. Adios.